Hello everybody, and welcome to the Headteacher's Desk. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thank you for watching the video. I'm Amy Liu. I'm an experienced head teacher and a leadership coach. Today I want to talk about time management. As a head teacher, time is your most valuable resource and it's often limited. So you need to be intentional with how you spend your time. In this video, I hope to give you some practical advice that I have developed in my career in order to support my time management and to protect my well-being. Okay, let's dive in. Number one, you have got to set clear priorities. Not all priorities are created equally. So you already know that there are 3 types of categories for priorities. You've got the long-term priorities in the next 6 months of the school year or over the course of this year. Then you've got the medium-term priority, so this term or this month. And then you have the short-term priorities. So you could be talking about things you need to do today or things you need to get done by the end of this week. So you have got to prioritize very clearly, and you have got to plan on how you're going to spend time tackling your different priorities. So I have a rule of 3, 2, 1. So each day I set out to work towards 3 of my short-term priorities, 2 of my medium-term goals, and 1 long-term commitment. Now, I'm not talking about completing all of these priorities. I am saying each day I am intentional with spending time working towards them. So that I know that every day my time is spent on my own terms. I've set the agenda. Okay, so as a head teacher, it's really important that you set clear priorities in order to use your time intentionally and purposefully. Okay, let's talk about the next strategy. Now this one, I made a mistake early on in my headship career. And you will probably be rolling your eyes when I say this. Delegate. The power of delegation. You're not running a school by yourself on your own, although I know as a new head teacher, you'd be tempted to think that this is all on you. But in reality, that's not the case. You have got a whole team of people who hold different responsibilities. So for example, you might have an English subject leader, you might have a Senko, or you might have someone who's supporting you with finance and HR. So not everything has to be done by you. So delegate, delegate, and delegate. Ask yourself this question daily. Does it need to be me? Does it need to be me to answer this question? Or can I refer this person who has this question to another member of my team? For example, I'm a head teacher, I run the school, but I'm not a qualified Senko. Although I have some understanding, well, maybe I have a clear understanding of send, okay, but it's not my bread and butter. My bread and butter is school improvement, school leadership. Therefore, when it comes to questions regarding SEND and inclusion and the technicalities of provision with regards to SEND, I refer to my SENCO. So you have got to delegate in order to be in tension with what you spend your time doing each day. Right, next we're going to talk about dedicated headship time. When I first came into headship, that was a completely bizarre concept. What do you mean? I have to protect my dedicated headship time. What do you mean? I have to focus and block out the time and work from home. Okay, I remember arguing with my school improvement advisor at the time, saying, no, the school needs me to be here all the time, because if I'm not here, who's going to run the show? Well, guess what? Going back to the previous point, you are supported, yes, you are supported by a team of people. Don't you think that you can trust your team to hold the fort for half a day a week so that you can work from home or in your office, but having that time blocked out as your focused, dedicated headship time, where you can work on that strategic point of school development that you need to do in order to steer the ship. So it's really important that you block out a couple of hours a week to ensure you have time to work on strategic development. So currently, I block out an afternoon a week. I'm very strict with that. I say, right, okay, I put that on my calendar, on the school calendar, so that all my staff can see when I am away from my office in order to think strategically. So it's really important that you do that. Right, next one. Another strategy to use your time intentionally is to set a consistent daily and weekly routine that you stick to regardless of whether it's sunny or rainy outside, whether it's the autumn, the spring, the summer. You always stick with that, okay? Because I'll tell you what, a day in the life of a head teacher is filled with unpredictabilities, okay? In order for you to manage to stay in control, is that you need to have some predictability in your life, okay? And that comes down to your routine, okay? So I don't know whether you are a night owl or an early bird. I am not going to tell you work early in the morning or stay up late at night. You have got to figure out what is best for you. But once you've established that daily routine, that weekly routine, you stick with that regardless, because that is going to be the anchor that holds you in a crisis. Okay, so I'm going to give you my example. So I'm an early bird. I wake up early in the morning. I enjoy getting the day started at my own pace. I make a nice cup of coffee. I meditate. I get into that calm space. Once I've done that, I check my email inbox, not because I need to know what's going on at all times, okay, but but it's because I find that if I check my inbox first thing in the morning, when I arrive in school, I know what I need to do. I know what the day is going to be. Okay, once I've done that, I arrive in school. That is my day as a head teacher started. I haven't got the opportunity to reset, to be really intentional with my time. So early part in the day for me is crucial. Okay, next, I am very strict with how I spend my weekends. And I communicate this to my staff because they need to know that if they send me an email on a Saturday, I am not going to respond. Not because I don't care about what they've got to say or that I don't care to help them. That's far from the truth. I reserved my Saturdays as my non-working days. Okay, I've communicated that to my governing bodies, to my staff, to my husband. Everybody knows that Saturdays are my non-working days. Okay, so whatever works for you, but I suggest you need to set a non-working day in your weekend. It's either Saturdays or Sunday, or if you can manage it. I can't. I'm too much of a control freak, perhaps, to let go of not checking work emails, not checking in at all over the weekend. So I find that Sunday is a better day for me to do so. Right, I hope that in this video I have talked about some strategies that you can apply in your day to support your time management and ultimately support your well-being. Because headship is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We can't be sprinting full speed 24/7. You're going to burn out. You need to make sure that your leadership and your career is sustainable. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the content, please click like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye now.